I am very proud of the accomplishments of Princess Margaret Hospital over the past 30 years or so.
The Minister of Health tours PMH. We'll give you his prognosis coming up. Hurricane season has started. What NEMA is doing to get ready.
We want to make an appeal to family members who may not have seen a relative in the past, maybe 24 hours. We're asking you to please give us a call.
And police investigate another murder. The details straight ahead. The Bahamas Tonight starts now.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Keishla Adderley. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping the news tonight, the rain came down in what seems like buckets this afternoon here in New Providence and across the country as severe weather warnings went up from around 2 o'clock this afternoon. The water accumulated in areas like the Harbor Bay Shopping Center and in some instances almost covered car tires. The storm cell seemed to sit over New Providence and dump rain with whipping winds across the island. The newsroom was flooded with calls from members of the public saying that they also saw hail. Captain Ian Gilbert and Gloria Brown out in the harbor today saved some of the pea-sized hail and put it into their freezer. Even though that was all they could save, they say they saw hail as big as dimes. The weather also caused a slowdown in traffic in the Dowswell Street area and coming over the Paradise Island bridges. And now, with just 8 days into the 2012 hurricane season, officials from the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, hosted their 8th annual Hurricane Awareness Exhibition in the heart of Roslyn Square this morning. NEMA officials say the exhibition is just one way to encourage Bahamians to ready themselves for a small or large hurricane. LaDawn Davis tells us more.
National Emergency Management Agency officials hope to sensitize thousands of Bahamians on ways to prepare themselves for the upcoming below-average hurricane season. NEMA and its key partnering agencies have been capitalizing every year through its disaster awareness exhibitions. Director of NEMA, Captain Stephen Russell, says with the ravishing effects of Hurricane Irene in the Family Islands last year, NEMA is focusing on mitigation preparedness.
I think we have a fairly good response program, but we're now trying to strengthen our mitigation and preparedness plan. When I say mitigation, you want to make sure people are doing things right from the start. For example, if you're building homes or you're building homes, you're going to make sure you're building your home right from the start. Make sure you have solid foundations, make sure you have hurricane shutters, hurricane clips, all a part of your housing structure, so that your home can endure a Category 1, 2, or 3 storm.
Chief Climate Officer Mike Stubbs says there is a 48% chance of a hurricane making landfall in the Bahamas and is strongly encouraging Bahamians to not become nonchalant but remain vigilant and one step ahead this time around.
Thanks to the phenomenon called the El Nino, that tends to suppress the occurrence of tropical cyclones. So certainly we're looking for about an average or below average season this particular year, which what that equates to about 10 named storms, 6 of which can become hurricanes. Out of that, we get about 2 becoming major hurricanes. That is, hurricanes with wind speeds in excess of 130 miles per hour.
Tourism's Director of Safety, Security and Disaster Management, John Nixon, says ensuring that tourists are protected during a disaster is one of tourism's top priorities.
First thing we do, we find out where every tourist is in this country. We give them the warning to evacuate. Of course, you know, we have a few of them who don't want to evacuate. There's nothing we could do about that, but we try to make them know that it's not safe and get them out of the country.
Now, while we've heard from officials about the above-average hurricane season, here's what some of the students from D.W. Davis had to say about the exhibition.
Today was a good day. I learned plenty of stuff about hurricane, how you gotta stock up on tuna, corned beef, and all the rest of that, and not bread.
I was able to take back with me is about the bill pump. The bill pump is used for, like, when your boat is sinking, you can put it inside your boat, and it's used for the water to come out.
The exhibition will last until Saturday. LaDawn Davis, ZNS News.
Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez says the health ministry needs its own funding. He was touring the Princess Margaret Hospital today, giving his prognosis on the facility and addressing the future of public health in the country. Carla Palmer has details.
Just like a doctor should, Minister of Health Dr. Perry Gomez did a thorough examination of the physical structure of the Princess Margaret Hospital, a familiar place to him as he worked there for more than 30 years. However, this day he walks the halls of the facility in another capacity, this time as the new Minister of Health. Dr. Gomez says he's committed to building on what's already been achieved.
We've come from a little community hospital to a sophisticated teaching hospital of the University of the West Indies, where we now graduate medical students. We have a postgraduate program in medicine as well as pediatrics and obstetrics. A very good, if not excellent, tertiary care institution. But the thing that always drove me in this place was I knew we could be better than we were. And I think that still is the case. We can be better than we are, and as leaders of healthcare in our region, in this institution. And so I trust that over my time as minister, I can continue the kind of work I did earlier in helping to promote this institution to be the best it can be as a first-class teaching hospital.
Dr. Gomez assumes responsibility for PMH as it undergoes major infrastructural works with a new multi-million-dollar critical care unit. Taking into account the global economic environment, Minister Gomez committed efforts and resources to further strengthening that public health facility.
Health needs its own funding, and that's what National Health Insurance does. Right now, the Ministry of Health competes with all the other government ministries for a portion of the pie, that is the public treasury. Health needs its own dedicated fund, and that is what NHI was all about.
Carla Palmer, ZNS News.
Police are looking into murder number 66 after a man's body was found along a track road in Jasmine Gardens in southern New Providence this morning. Clint Watson tells us what police know so far.
The Jasmine Gardens community off Zion Boulevard is not known as a crime-troubled community, but this morning residents in the area were shocked to discover a body lying on a track road that extends from the intersection of Jasmine Boulevard east and west. Around 8:20 this morning, the lifeless body of a slim black male believed to be in his late 20s and just under 6 feet tall was found clad in a blue jeans and white t-shirt. Police press officer Inspector Chrislyn Skippings says the man had injuries to the upper body.
Can you confirm whether it was gunshot?
At this time, we're going to wait until our officers or the body is transported to the morgue and our officers can do a little bit more thorough investigation. Additionally, we want to make an appeal to family members who may not have seen a relative in the past, maybe 24 hours. We're asking you to please give us a call.
On the scene, police were in the preliminary stages of their investigation and were trying to garner as much information as possible.
Our team of officers will speak with residents within this community to find out if they heard anything, and if they have heard anything, then we're going to act on the information that they provide us with.
Based on the condition of the body, do you know whether he was there for a long period of time, or was this something that took place overnight?
It seems like he would have been there for a while.
Like days?
I wouldn't say days, but for a while.
Earlier this week, the Commissioner of Police thanked the public for coming forward with assistance to solve these recent crimes. But what about their plea for the public to come forward for help in resolving disputes, or if they feel they're in danger? Are residents responding to these calls?
Yes, Clint, there are persons who are calling in and they're providing us with the information, and I know we have plans to sit down with them and to resolve those conflicts. I also want to make an appeal again to other persons who know of conflicts that are going on. We want to encourage you. Come in. We are here to help you. Again, it's not always about arresting. We have too many of our young men who are being locked down in prison. We want to help you and to show you how to make the right choices.
This track road connects South Beach with Jasmine Gardens. It's frequented by school kids moving to and fro. Now head of the Urban Renewal Program, Superintendent Stephen Dean says they're moving in to take some immediate action.
This is a very secluded area, overgrown bushes, and you see this is being turned into a dumping ground, but it's between two well-known communities where people live, and I'm not sure our people want to live in this environment. Urban Renewal will come in the back in full force, that we will clear down these bushes, make it more visible, remove that opportunity where someone could commit their criminal activities, and we believe that will go a long way.
Now again, police are asking for your assistance to solve this latest murder. It's number 66 for the year. You can call them at 919, or you can call CDU, or you can call Crime Tipsters at 328-TIPS. Clint Watson, ZNS News.
Police suspect one of 3 men they arrested with a gun and ammunition last night may be linked to the murder of a mother and son in Pinewood Gardens this week. Officers arrested the men ages 30, 28, and 20 years after finding them with the weapon and ammo around 10:20 last night. Preliminary police reports indicate that officers acting on information went to First Street and Robinson Road, where they searched a white 2002 Honda Civic occupied by those men and discovered the items. An investigation is ongoing. A 17-year-old boy of Yamacraw Hill Road is in hospital after being shot to the chest last night. The incident reportedly occurred around 7:20 last evening. Initial police reports indicate that the victim was at Yamacraw Hill Road when he was shot in an altercation with another man. The victim was taken to hospital by private vehicle where he's detained in serious condition. Police are following significant leads into this matter. Police are also investigating the circumstances surrounding a shooting which has left a 23-year-old man in hospital. The incident reportedly occurred around 6:40 a.m. Preliminary reports indicate that the victim, an employee of a business establishment on Bernard Road, was getting out of his vehicle near Monastery Park when he accidentally shot himself in the foot. The victim was taken to hospital where he's detained in stable condition. Legal discussions taking place in the Sean Evans murder trial. 32-year-old Evans was gunned down back in 2007 at his home in the Pride Estate subdivision. 3 men, Nicole Octelis of Allen Drive, Smith Charitable, and Michael Joseph, are on trial for the crime. Yuko Barnaby is prosecuting the case, and Ramona Farquharson, Seymour, Richard Boodle, and Raymond Roll make up the defense. Justice Vera Watkins is presiding. Department of Environmental Health Services officials say while there are still some delays, routine garbage collection is about 90% on target island-wide. Director Melanie McKenzie says the recent spate of rain is to blame for the delays. She added that only 12 of a fleet of 22 garbage trucks, which service 30 routes are actually working right now.
You have 3 shifts running, so if it rains in the morning, those persons who may be collected on that particular day on the various beats are obviously not collected. It means immediately, if that's 3,000 homes, that we are already those 3,000 homes behind. If it continues to rain during the course of the day on the midday shift, we then lose those homes that we would have collected on the midday shift. And if it's raining all day and it continues into the afternoon to the 6 o'clock shift, then we lose all of those. So in a day, we may lose anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 houses.
Now, McKenzie says though some areas are on and in some cases ahead of schedule since the rain has held up, with a backlog due to be cleared up by the weekend, McKenzie says on-time garbage collection should be back on track by Monday. And she's clarifying misconceptions about perceived delays.
If we collect you on a Thursday, then we should be back to you by the following Thursday. If we do not come on Thursday, on Friday we'll be 1 day off. We do not normally collect on Saturday and Sundays, but we'll try to catch up on Saturday and Sundays. So your 1 day that you've missed begins on that Friday. But what usually happens if you don't come on that Thursday, on that Friday you will call and say that your garbage hasn't been collected in 2 weeks, but really you've only not had collection for that 1 day.
Well, still to come in the Bahamas tonight, more from the budget debate, including more information on how to resolve lingering immigration problems. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.